right, so what are you gonna make for us?
Water's in the kettle.
But what are you gonna make?
Pour over coffee.
For like what? Like a 6-cup Chemex?
We're gonna make, it's for 2 people. I think it's technically a 6-cup, yield. But we each drink 3 in the morning, so we kind of pound it.
All right, perfect. What do we do?
So we get the water hot, press the button on the fellow. I always set mine to like 95, 96 degrees Celsius.
All right.
While that's starting up, I'm gonna grind up the coffee. We're gonna go strong here for our afternoon. It's Saturday.
Afternoon delight.
So that's what we do like about this coffee grinder. So while it kind of gets, you know, because it doesn't like fit the spout perfectly, it does spit out kind of a bit of a mess. But it does set it to the gram, yeah. So here, let's do 57. Let's get aggressive. As you can see too, I didn't show this earlier, but you can kind of set the coarse of the grind. So if you had a French press, you want something more coarse. There's a little insignia there on ours. If I was doing an espresso shot, if I was pulling a shot, I would do it a lot more fine. Usually your pour overs are kind of usually in the middle there. I wish I was like a sommelier and could tell you exactly where it was from.
What coffee are we brewing today?
Here, it's this bag right here. So it's from Rising Rooster Coffee and Roastery. They sent it to us. It's organic.
Yum. Right now we're really trying to support local coffee shops. We want to make sure our favorite coffee shops stay in business, right?
We just ordered from Metropolis and Sawada Coffee. That's who roasts the stuff for Sawada. I want to place an order for Metric soon. So I'm turning on my scale now. I guess the only other thing I didn't mention for essentials would be a filter, but...
What kind of filters are these?
These are the Chemex cone filters. Usually we use unbleached, but I think we bought the wrong one on Amazon by accident. So I'm gonna rinse this first because I don't want any papery taste in my coffee.
Does that also warm up the Chemex?
It does, yeah. That's a good way too. If you like your coffee really hot, pour a lot of hot water in your Chemex or even your coffee mug before you pour. Yeah, so this one's nice and small. It would be to like go on like an espresso machine. This one would be like appropriate for commercial use. A lot of the best shops I go to, this is the one they have.
So you can see why this probably isn't the most ideal one, but it works.
Just gotta balance it.
Have you shattered coffee before?
I've shattered, coffee's not made out of glass, but I definitely shattered a couple Chemexes. R.I.P.
This actually was originally only supposed to be used as decoration, this fancy Chemex, but we decided to break it in when he broke one.
Now that I've rinsed the filter, I poured the excess water out because I don't want to water down my coffee. My scale is zeroed out. You definitely want one that tars again, otherwise you have to remember the weight. You gotta do math. No one wants to do math in the morning. So I tarred it out, zeroed it out. 57.6. Probably have to recalibrate the scale a little bit, or there's just leftover in there. I'm gonna use a little spoon here and create a little divot of sort for the blooming. First pour really. So I'm gonna do 3 pours, all the same size. I'm gonna do 260 grams of water. That'll take me about 30 seconds. Then at the 1 minute mark, so I'm gonna start my timer now. At the 1 minute mark, I'll do another 260, bringing us to 520. And at 2 minutes and 30 seconds, I'll do the last pour. That'll take me all the way to 3 minutes. And then I'll get us to the total of 780 grams of water. And then it'll drip out to about 5, you'll see. So what I did was I started in the middle there. I'm just doing concentric circles bigger than that on its way out. And I'll kind of go back in. See those gas bubbles that's starting to bloom? Second pour, take me to 520 grams of water. So what I'm trying to do is agitate the grounds or just disperse the water like evenly over the grounds. That way it gets a nice even clean pour. So if you don't like coffee that's super acidic, or sometimes it'll bother your stomach, it's just a little bit more in your face, that coffee's usually like a French press for me, versus the Chemex with the filter. Kind of filters out, makes a little bit more balanced cup.
So is that the last pour?
That's the last pour. It'll take us all the way to 5 minutes.
Are you at all worried about the grounds on the outside?
Like the ones up on the side of it, I guess. Yeah, you want to get all of them as best you can. But you don't want to pour directly down on the filter either.
What are you looking at?
Nothing, I'm just doing it for the video.
So why would someone, can you just like quickly explain the difference between a coffee machine, a Keurig?
So coffee machine, Keurig, you've just got this big, plop of grounds, basically like in your,
Well, why don't you separate those into two things? Because I definitely think that a coffee machine is better than a Keurig.
It is. A Keurig, a lot of plastic use, old, stale, already ground up grounds, sitting in plastic.
With preservatives, so it doesn't grow mold.
Yeah, and basically you're just getting hot water that just spits through it. So you're getting like coffee bean soup or something. It's not good. Coffee pots are a little bit better, but very similar in that you're just gonna have a big, bunch of beans, and this water pour isn't like intelligent enough to get all the beans evenly. So like some of the beans will be overexposed, some of them will be underexposed. You get a lot of times like a weaker cup.
Or like too strong or bitter, right? Because sometimes the water's too hot.
Yeah, exactly.
I find that when I go and just get like a regular cup of coffee at a place, and they just pour from one of those big machines, they're not as good because it almost feels burnt.
So here, it's up to 5 minutes. I'm gonna take these coffee grounds out.
Here, why don't we just put them in here? Why do you pull that?
You don't want your coffee to be over extracted. It could become bitter. So the end of that cup, if you do not like a bitter cup, you can pull it even a little bit earlier. So you're just playing with the relationship of like how long the water interacts with the coffee grounds. I'm gonna grab, what mug you want, hon?
Sure.
This one good? I'm just gonna warm the mug like we were talking about earlier with some of the water that's left over.
What are some of the reasons that you have a coffee bar, and how did you start collecting all of this?
Honestly, I was just into the story behind coffee. Like to me, it was, I don't know, I love the idea of a farmer and being connected to the person that I was starting my morning with. I just had such an appreciation for like all the work that is the art of creating, whether they're single origin beans or the different blends that are popular. And then once I started to get into it, I really enjoyed the sort of morning ceremony it became. I usually get up before Lexi, so now I'm just trying to aerate the coffee. Really just the ceremony of it was what I loved. Started my morning like in peace, and was something I really look forward to.
Can you agree that once you drink pour over coffee, it's really hard to go back?
It's really hard.
All right, taste it. Let's see what you think.
How's it smell?
Smells good.
Really good. A little fruitier. I'm not good enough to like totally know what fruits come through, but I'm getting there.